Good morning. Nice to be here. Nice to be alive. Nice to be thinking about self-improvement and nourishing oneself. Nice to be in a meditative spirit where we are becoming increasingly calm, settling into our postures and being undisturbed. Being aware of one's breathing. Yesterday, I was listening to more podcasts on meditation, and one of the presenters reminded me of something that I used to do, which is enumerate my breathing by counting. So this particular person suggested that one breathe in to a count of 4 and pause, and then breathe out through a count of 7 and pause, and to do this for a minute or so while listening. And of course, if one does this, it is a means of, in a sense, stimulating one's body to rest more. I don't think that the actual number is as important as the idea of having one's exhale being longer than one's inhale. And I also believe that the pauses in between these two are more important. So I would say pause for a count of 1 or even 2. And being most comfortable for oneself, one's individuality, one's uniqueness is key. You are comfortable, have found a place. It's reassuring and calming for your own peace of mind, because many people come to meditation for this. This is the initial offering or value of meditation. So maybe you inhale for 3. Pausing for 1 or 2. Exhaling for 5, a count of 6 or a count of 7 as discussed. And then pausing again for a count of 1 or 2. And here we have 4 parts of a 4-part breath. So we begin again. In this way, a sense of peace can be created in oneself for 2 reasons. One is one's focus is upon one's breathing and not on other things. And then the actual action of slowing one's breath down, of deepening it. Meditation and mindfulness is a great way to not only encompass this sense of relaxation, yet to also increase the opportunities one has for self-improvement, being mindful. It is why we are here together now, is to help satisfy this curiosity, this potential we know exists for self-improvement. We see it in little ways in our own lives. How lucky we are to wake up in the morning with the potential. We can strive to thrive in our world in every way, from inside of our own being, inclusive of everything else there is. Being here now. I am. You are. We are bundles of miracles. Attaining a sense of humility in our recognition of the complexity, the immensity of creation. Of course, this includes us, ourselves, our own capacities. our own potential. The suggestion is we are including everything. Every human being, over 7 billion people in this comparison, in this widening perspective. How humbling when one does this. Humbled before the immensity of creation. And thankful. Thankful for this opportunity to be able to reason, to distinguish words from sounds, from practices, in creating speech with our tongues and our mouths, with symbols and words, with communication, all coalescing into one. The ringing energy of understanding, wisdom, experience, being thankful for this. So I just want to share with you my thoughts about having a sacred saying, how important I find it to be for myself. And I suggest that you try one on. You are welcome to use the 3 phrases that I have tied together. And you're also welcome to make up your own. Or you're welcome to modify what I have done, and what you are suggesting to oneself is appropriate for you, to mix them together like we're going to make a cake. We're getting the ingredients and putting them in a bowl, the flour, etc., and mixing them. The reason I am suggesting one have an important vehicle to ride in, on, become, is in its ability to help transport one from one thought to another. When one wakes up in the morning, for instance, it can be you've been dreaming, you're not in control of your dreams, and the dream you've had this evening or this morning is of a more discouraging nature, or of complexity, or of confusion. And here you are waking up. If one has a special saying, a sacred saying, that can be brought forth and repeated and evaluated, then one is already moving in a positive direction. Whereas if you don't, perhaps one lingers in this limbo land of uncertainty, when all we want is a state of grace, of kindness, simplicity, calm, knowing. We are embraced by our universe. This is why I highlight this opportunity to create your own sacred saying, to help oneself. If you have questions or want to discuss this, then contact me. I'll be glad to respond. So, being here now, a bundle of miracles, humbled, thankful, in our realization of who and what we are, of how we have come to this current state of development over a when and a where, is inclusive of billions of years in a very small portion of our known universe. breathing in this pattern of long and slow inhales and longer, a little more slowly in exhaling, with attention paid to both of the pauses, where one can fill them in with a sense of grace, a sense of harmony, a sense of being in a nourishing state for oneself. One is working the soil in one's own garden, weeding, putting in organic waste to enrich the soil, implementing, learning of tools to help us on our way. Mankind is now in the midst of a revolution. You weren't sure. Rest assured you can be. Look around. And I don't mean just in the year 2025, which is the year we are speaking in, as these words flow from my lips, but for the last 10,000 years, the age of Aquarius, the dawning of the Aquarian age. It is occurring in progress. Mankind is being pulled to rise from its, in a sense, immaturity or childhood into a state of adulthood. And it takes both time and a sense of patience to do this. We all know this from our own lives. It is nothing out of the ordinary or incredible to believe. It is common sense. All things need to be evaluated and changed as necessary. What do all these different philosophies and rules and regulations mean? It means opportunity, yes, of course, but also not, of course, because some then would reject everything. No. Compromise is important too. If you want to make changes, attempt to make them over time rather than too quickly, too unsettlingly for others to digest. You don't want people getting sick or angry. A little bit at a time is better than its opposite. But being aware of the need for this, as you are, because you are here, seeking in your own being improvement, regardless of this podcast or me. You are the beacons of our future. And we need shine bright, for there are many in the dark that would like to see more clearly, but are shrouded in fogs of ignorance or veils of rules, regulations, customs, past traditions, which haven't been updated but need to be. That's the nature of our universe. Remembering, it is not static. It is changing, evolving, with the potential for improving. We have our work set out for us. Making sure you have your own sacred saying is the message to consider for today. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.